This is the redesign to my Solo God base. You can find out more information on the electrical and industrial setup in the first video. I played a full wipe with this base design on a vanilla server, and the videos for this series will be coming out soon. You'll need quite a large area to build this base, but only in one direction. You can either eyeball it out or place the twig down like I am here, building the 2x1 with the honeycomb and then 8 foundations out on each side. Later in the video, I'll show you how you can reduce this to 3 foundations instead of 8 with no external TC and still have a gatehouse with your shooting floor connected to your main base for upkeep. Once you've chosen your area to build that the base will fit, you're going to place a low foundation with a high foundation and then a triangle to your left. This 1x1 is going to become your starter base. You can throw a double door and your TC down in here and you're good to go. To finish off the starter base, we're going to put low walls everywhere except the left side of your airlock. That's going to be a full wall to save on 25 HQM later in the build. You'll be putting 3 furnaces in your airlock. A triangle above this square will have 4 boxes underneath it. Your workbench will go on top. And you can put your bag on the triangle as well with use of the single doorway. Outside, you'll need to put a low foundation to jump up if you need. Otherwise, this high foundation will allow us to put our triangle in the TC for the TC loot room. The triangle I fill in here, you can fit 3 more furnaces, or you can just wall it in like I did right there. And we're placing the triangle in our TC room through the outside of the wall. This raised foundation is going to become our jump up to the 2nd floor, so we can wall ourselves in here. Facing the square, we will have a double door with a half-height shelf where you can put either auto turrets, shotgun traps, or some more loot boxes. Make sure before you wall in that side of your base to create this jump up that you farmed up enough to create the other side out here. It's going to require a little bit of stone, but nothing too crazy. We're going to put 2 raised foundations with 1 lower, and then wall in the 2 outer triangles completely. We will be using a triangle roof to get up to the 2nd floor from here, but if you place that down without doing this part, you will not be able to build this part, so make sure you're doing this first. You're going to build out 3 square foundations, delete the 2 closest to your base, and build back with triangles like this. The square will be used for our gatehouse in the future, and in situations like this where you find yourself not being able to place the raised triangle foundation on either side of the square, that we will just have to place a lower one and place half walls above it. Also, you'll notice in this situation, we can build out 3 square foundations, but our 4th one is not able to be raised. It must be raised for us to be able to connect it properly to the gatehouse for upkeep. Like I said at the beginning of the video, we are prepared for situations like this, and we will just be connecting our gatehouse and shooting floor foundations directly to the main base shortly. Here we are forced to place a lower foundation, so I'm filling it in with half walls to make up for the lack of height there. And then we're just going to finish off the gatehouse as we normally would. You don't need to build the entire gatehouse if you can't afford it. You just need this side facing the base and stability from the window frames on either side of this door frame. Consider finishing off your gatehouse as a sort of flank base early wipe if you can afford it. And you can also fit some boxes below the triangle as well for some quick depot from the outside of your base. Now we can safely place our triangle roof to jump up, as well as the floor frames connecting to the gatehouse for upkeep. I like to build a little staircase up to the gatehouse so I can have ease of access to get into it. From here, we're going to go to the square side of our base and honeycomb it in on either side. Next, we'll be coming to the 2nd floor and completely walling in the outer layer. When placing your ceiling tiles, make sure the middle triangle on either side in the group of 3 is left open. This will be our jump up on both sides of the base. We will be placing half-height wall triangles to jump up per usual on both sides here. Until you get a triangle ladder hatch, you can put a double door right in front of this hole outside. And then we'll be sealing off the top with 2 doors. We're going to be putting a half wall here with a full wall and then a floor on the half wall. Place a double door here and you're good to go. Keep in mind this can be soft-sided, but if you want the peak that we're going to create with a quarter wall above it, you might want to get a secondary door below this instead. Do this on the other side as well, facing in the opposite direction. And we'll be creating a shooting peak right here with a triangle floor frame above it for stability. At this point, we're going to create the 2nd side of the foundations for our shooting floor with our gatehouse and an example of how you would do an external TC for your gatehouse. This part is the same as the other side, except we are able to build our gatehouse correctly here, with our square foundation being in line with the triangles, so that we can place the 2 raised triangle foundations on the side. We'll be using these half walls for stability for our double door frames. The one facing your base, we're going to remove and place a quarter wall here. This will allow us to reach boxes which will be placed later under this triangle from the inside of our compound. Don't forget to put these triangle roofs here so that people can't jump through your windows. Feel free to replace it with embrasures or however you like to style your gatehouses. Build out 4 foundations, with the 4th being raised in line with the floor of your gatehouse. Place a raised triangle here with a window on the left. And then I like to build my external TCs like this with the floor frame in the center. Remove these 3 foundations here and you can leave the 4th. We'll need this to detach the TC if we ever need to do that. You can stand up here to place your TC inside. Finish it off with another half wall. And then place a window on your external TC. If you don't yet have a window, you can just build out like this and place a double door or a garage door. From here, we're going to need to place a double door frame temporarily to attach 4 floor frames to our gatehouse for upkeep. And this will also create an overlapping building privilege if our main TC ever gets raided. To detach it, you just place a roof here, and then you'll be able to replace any raided TC inside your main base. And from here, we're just going to finish off our gatehouse as we did on the other side. Heading over to the shooting floor foundations, we're going to place 2 triangles on the left and right side here, and then build out with a square. And you'll notice we have to place a raised triangle here. That's all right. On this side, we don't have to. On the sides that are lower, we're going to want to put half walls here, so that when we place double door frames on the top of this, they will be in line with the floor of our 3rd floor. It's important that you put these half walls on the bottom, otherwise it'll interfere with our wide angle peaks that we have on our shooting floor. Then head over to the other side and do the same thing. In this situation, we have an opposite interference with the terrain, and we have to place a lower foundation here. But since we placed our triangles in line with our roof jump up, that means that we don't need any half walls on those. We only need the half wall on the lower triangle over there. So we'll just go directly to double door frames here. And the half wall on the lower triangle will allow us to put the double door frames in line with the 3rd floor. If you are able to, build these specific things directly into sheet metal right here, just the triangles that are attached to the half walls or double door frames. Otherwise, people will be able to soft side them out and destroy your shooting floor. We're going to head over to the shooting floor now and place the triangles on the double door frames that are closest to your base. And then from the triangle attached to your base, you will place 2 squares on either side. This creates our wide angle peaks here. On the inside of the base, we'll need to create stability, so you can decide how you would like to place your deployables in here. The only places you really need doors is where these double door frames are about to go. As for the triangles, you could wall them off, or you could strategically place lockers inside here like this and wall it off with a window frame. You could get more furnaces in there, but I prefer to use these as places to put my battery and my electrical things on the wall inside of it. Make sure you're getting your doors down. Your garage doors will go on your jump ups, and you can place double doors everywhere else to save on some gears. I like to put a garage door in the center right here though. This has created the stability for us to be able to properly place our windows up here on the 3rd floor. We will be placing single door frames on the triangles that are attached to our main 2x1, and then a wall in between them. Cover this all with ceiling tiles here. And then on the inside, make sure you're placing door frames everywhere possible for stability. These doors will be very important here until you get embrasures on your windows. It also creates a nice hideaway from when you're taking heli. Mimic the floor tiles on the ceiling now. You'll need to place this triangle first before you're allowed to place these squares. The way you build your roof is up to you. If you've got triangle ladder hatches that you would like to place here, go for it. I've been doing something a little different on my roof recently because it's kind of hard to protect the entire thing with 2 auto turrets. So what I like to do is place 2 half walls like this with a single door, and then this roof right here. And this will allow me to place some sneaky little auto turrets that are kind of hidden. And you will want these single door frames upgraded to sheet metal as soon as possible, unless you have auto turrets ready to go. Same goes for this triangle, upgrade it to sheet metal right away. And you'll want this to be sheet metal later on in case people try to rocket out your auto turrets. The auto turrets will go on the triangle right next to the door, and this will allow for full coverage of your roof. Your wind turbines will go on the top of this as well, but keep in mind the stability is pretty low, so if you're built in a low area, you might need both of these for a single battery. But if you're on a pretty highly elevated area, it might be enough to charge 2 full batteries. Finish it off by placing your roofs, and make sure that you're placing this one with the wide angle gap on the outside, not the inside. Just like that. And then we'll be placing 2 triangles right here, placing this one on the outside. And then you've got your whole base done. All that's left to do now is compound and get all your deployables down. You'll need to get down your metal barricades on your gatehouse. Place your stone walls. You'll need 5 on each side, totaling 10. And then from here, I'll give you a quick little snippet of how I would go about upgrading this base. On your external TCs, you can build up like this to place an auto turret to protect your gatehouses, as well as building up for another wind turbine if you do need some more power. When upgrading your base, you want to start with your first floor. Your second floor acts as a sort of honeycomb already, so you'll just want to focus on your first floor being sheet metal as soon as possible. On the back side of your base, you can build this sort of honeycomb right here. It's more so just kind of a shield from people rocketing you long distance, as on the other side of this, it is your airlock into your main loot room. And this is a little tip that you can do on the front side of your base. Here we have our gatehouse connected, but this would not be here if we had an external TC like we do on the other side. So in this case, if you do have to do this, place a half wall here instead to connect your gatehouse to your main base for upkeep. Then you can place 2 double door frames here with a ceiling and some garage doors, and this will act as a sort of little airlock right here. You could place shotgun traps inside of here. There is a hole in the ground, so keep that in mind. You might need to put a furnace here, so if you fall down, you can get out. I will usually wait until the entire outside of my first floor is sheet metal before I upgrade the inside. To save on HQM, we can upgrade the 2x1 to sheet metal, with only the ceilings being upgraded to armored. Place a half floor here and upgrade it to sheet metal. Like I said in the beginning of the video, this is how we're going to save on 25 HQM here. Upgrade the full wall in your airlock to armored. We're going to come out here and upgrade this wall to armored. If the floor you're standing on has furnaces, the half wall below it needs to be upgraded to armored as well. Upgrade the foundation and these 2 walls right here, and that's really all you need to upgrade to armored. The entire rest of the base is 2 full walls of sheet metal honeycomb, and we're upgrading that side to armored because that's where our doors are and it's the weakest part of our base. If you're able to afford upgrading the rest of your 2x1 to armored, I would recommend doing the wall I'm facing right now first, as that's most likely where people are going to blow in because your ladder hatch is on the other side of that. Overall, if you've upgraded everything to armored as I've done so far in this base build, it's about 289 HQM. The final thing, if you can afford it, would be upgrading your shooting floor double door frames that support it to sheet metal, as this will protect your base from collapsing if you take a lot of helis or if you're getting rocket raided from a distance. And that's the entire base build. Make sure you check the first version out for some more information on the industrial setup, electrical system, and how I place my deployables, as well as some trap placements inside of the base. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.